So the Buffalo Bills have now lost 2 straight in a row. They lost to Baltimore last week. They just lost to the Houston Texans. And the two major issues that are hurting the Buffalo Bills this season is that, for one, you ain't got no consistency at wide receiver. So Khalil Shakir, he ended up missing that game against the Houston Texans on Sunday due to an ankle injury, and he's pretty much been their only reliable wide receiver. Like, anytime you watch a Bills game, the first guy Josh Allen is always looking to throw the ball to is Khalil Shakir, and without him on the field, this offense, as far as still weapons, they don't have any. Like, Dalton Kincaid, he's been inconsistent this year. He's dropped a few passes. Keon Coleman, he's still growing into his role with the Buffalo Bills. And the Bills really don't know how to use Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman is a really good deep threat. He's not one of those receivers that you can look as a possession guy that can keep the trains moving for you, keep the drive alive. He's one of those big play wideouts. And Curtis Samuel, they just don't have a role for him at all. So you got an offense right now that is really missing how good Stephon Diggs was as their number one wide receiver. And you definitely can make a legitimate argument that if anybody needs to trade for Davante Adams, they are the team that needs him the most, because if you get Davante Adams, it would change up a lot for Buffalo offensively, because you've shown the ability to run the football. You can play complementary football, but when you're going up against some of the better teams in the NFL that can take away what you do best, then you're going to be handicapped in a lot of these games, because you got arguably the worst receiving core in the NFL. And until the Buffalo Bills can get more consistency at wideout, you're going to continue to come up short when you go up against some of the best teams in the NFL, because it's going to be hard to run for over 100 yards against the Baltimore Ravens or the Houston Texans with how well coached their defense are. Imagine what's going to happen when you got to play the New York Jets this week. They got a really good defense, and with you not really having any elite players on the perimeter, it's going to put you in the box. And there's only so much a dude like Josh Allen can do, as gifted as what he is. Like, the dude can't do anything when you just give him nothing to work with at wide receiver. Like, a lot of these dudes aren't even playing above average right now. And another big issue that is killing the Buffalo Bills is that they have just been derailed with a bevy of injuries on the defensive side of the football. Like, you got Ed Oliver, he was out against the Texans. Matt Milano, he's out. Taylor Rapp, he's out too. Von Miller, he's suspended for 4 games. So with all the injuries that the Bills have, you know, it's pretty reasonable to expect this defense to play the way that they've had, despite Sean McDermott being a defensive-minded coach, because even some of the backups that he has in, like Terrell Bernard, they're getting banged up. And at this point, you're out there throwing third stringers, practice squad guys on the field. It's kind of what we're seeing out of the Bills defense. And with them having an opportunity, getting back into that game against the Houston Texans, but falling short of being able to complete the comeback, the biggest reason why they couldn't win that game is just because, like, you didn't have any weapon on offense that you can go through to give you some instant offense. Once Houston was able to box up that run game, they were able to shut down Josh Allen. It was pretty much game over. And you know that Josh Allen, he's going to have a few plays that he makes when he just makes a crazy throw outside the pocket, but the Ravens and the Texans did a really good job of keeping him from making those kinds of game-changing plays. They kept him within the pocket, forced him to have to get the ball out to these wide receivers, and these receivers were unable to get separation. Like, a lot of the teams that Buffalo has played this year, like the Ravens and the Texans, they're doing nothing but playing man coverage across the board against them. And when you got a team that plays straight man against you, it shows that they got no respect for your wide receivers. They don't respect your receivers to get off the line to be able to consistently separate. So until the Buffalo Bills can get better receiving play, or they trade for a playmaker on the outside, their offense is going to struggle with how tough their schedule is about to be over the next couple of weeks. And they will get healthy on defense, but their offensive struggle still might not change a lot.